Paella is like a poor man's biryani. Like really poor man's biryani. The music industry thrives on people being numb and people being stupid.
If you get cancelled one day, this is going to be your first podcast appearance, so that'll be good for me.
I don't think I'll get cancelled.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not praying on that.
Women in the music industry, we want more women in the music industry. So the really cool thing was that in the business program, there was 75% women in the class, and the rest were dudes. It's happening gradually. So obviously we want to see more women in the music industry. It'll be great. Honestly, if women run the world, there won't be war. It'll be peaceful.
That's true, man. We need some of that.
It'll be peaceful. Yeah, we do need that. It'll be nice. There'll be a lot less fighting for sure.
So hello Siddhant.
Hello.
Welcome. You're here from Spain.
Yes.
When did you come?
1st of August, I think.
You came specially for the podcast, I'm guessing.
Especially came for the podcast.
I appreciate it, man. But how's Berklee been? I mean, firstly, before you say that, can you just tell everyone what you do and why were you in Berklee in the first place?
Okay, so I'm an artist, lawyer, and music producer.
That's cool. All three.
I worked as a lawyer for like 3 years in intellectual property, and then the pandemic hit, and then I realized that I really got depressed, and then decided I needed a switch. And then I always knew that music was there in the works, in the pipelines. Like, it's something that I always was passionate about. My dad put me onto a lot of great music. He's been for a bunch of shows. And I thought that, this is something that I really want to do. And I put out my first track in 2020, and then I needed some more direction for the music thing. So then I realized that, okay, where do we take this? And then I applied to this other institute in Amsterdam. Due to some visa issue, it didn't work out. And then I was like, okay, let's apply to Berklee. And then I was working on my portfolio. It was really good. And by the time I applied to Berklee, I sort of knew that I was going to get in. During my interview, the person that was interviewing me got her first Rolling Stone feature. And I had about 13 Rolling Stone features at the time. And we were talking about it and what it feels like to get your first feature. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'll definitely get the admission. And yeah, then I got into Berklee, did my master's in music production, innovation technology. That's the course. And did that for a year. Now I'm back.
And how are you liking it? Like, how is the change? Are you missing Spain?
It's bittersweet. I miss Spain, but not as much as I love Pune.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I
Pune is like where home is, so there's no like.
So Pune is where you plan to work, and Spain is where you plan to retire.
Is that the plan? Spain is where I plan to retire for sure. The weather is nice. I feel like spending half the year here and half the year there would be more.
Yeah, probably ideal. in the monsoons you can be there.
Yeah,
they have amazing weather there at this time of the year.
Yeah, they have amazing weather most of the year.
Most of the year, yeah.
Those summers are like atrocious over there. Like the summers are hot.
How bad does it get?
It burns, yeah.
Like there's been a heat wave in Europe for the last 2 or 3 years, so it's been hot. Pretty bad there.
It's really hot.
Yeah. I got out at the right time, just before the heat wave began.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, UK, right?
Yeah, 2020 I got out. And 2021 is when I think it started getting really hot in the summers. At least that was seen as the destination for summer vacations, and now I think people are preferring to go to maybe Thailand, Bali. And
yeah. I mean, I feel like Valencia especially, the weather is perfect. I feel like other places in Europe don't have weather like Valencia. And the weather is great. The people are really nice. The food lacks flavor, but that's probably my only complaint for Spain.
I think that's the complaint of Indians all over, right? They're
that's
so
true.
used to
our food is the... I mean, I don't want to toot our own horn, but like
you can, man. Why not?
Our food is the best food. There's no comparison. Like after eating food everywhere... Yeah, our food is the best.
I think we're used to spicy food.
Not just spicy, just flavor.
Yeah.
Flavor, good, and it's healthy. We eat a lot of vegetables. And you'll never get, like, you can have the same thing in 3 different varieties over the week and it's still good to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what are you doing for your food there?
I was cooking.
You're cooking your Indian food or?
Cooking Indian food most of the time, yeah. I was living with a flatmate who was also Indian.
Okay.
And we sort of made it work. He had misal, we had misal over there, and it was nice. I mean, like, it was good. It was good having him there, and yeah, he was in the same program as me.
Okay.
Nice.
And did you make the locals have any misal?
We did make a lot of foreigners eat a lot of Indian food, and they fell in love.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They didn't find it too spicy?
No, we made it just balanced for everyone.
Yeah.
We didn't make it spicy. And then we cook for ourselves, we'd make it like for us. But yeah, we had misal, we had mutton rasa, we had chicken curry, a bunch, a lot of dal chawal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. The food was okay, but the restaurants are nice there too. There was an Indian restaurant there called Royal Buddha, which we would like go to all the time. That was good. It was good food.
But what's with Indians going abroad and just going to Indian restaurants?
I mean, you get like how much bread and meat can you really eat?
You want your naans and stuff.
You need flavor in your food. That like you can have sushi once in 2 weeks. You can have tacos once in 2 weeks, but then you need dal chawal roti sabji throughout the week, right? Like that's something we can't live without. So we'd go to the Indian restaurant quite a bit.
Well, that's a good thing. Indian restaurants are there everywhere.
Everywhere.
No matter where you're going in the world.
Insane.
You're going to find Indians there.
Yeah. I mean, so the cool thing was that when I landed in Spain for the first time, I got into the cab. My cab driver was from Pakistan. He spoke to me in Hindi. First thing, I felt like I haven't left India at all. It was nice. Then he took me home. I was like kind of worried, okay, how do I like navigate myself? And got home in one piece. And we stayed at a couple of Airbnbs and then we found our place. Got a great house really close to college.
Lovely.
So it was walking distance. The college campus is beautiful. It's straight out of like a movie, like a sci-fi movie.
I know, man. I was seeing images yesterday.
It's a really cool campus.
You'll have that dome outside the college, right?
Yeah.
And these people market it like it's part of the college.
It's not part of the college. But that was good marketing because
It's very good marketing. The moment I saw it, I'm like, why does anyone want to leave?
Yeah, because the funny thing is, I bought into it. I thought our college was in the dome. Turns out our college is right next to the dome.
Yeah.
But you exit the college and the first thing you see is the dome. And the dome is basically the Paella, which is like it's the opera house where they have a lot of shows. And the college is in tie-up with the opera house where we have a bunch of shows and all of that keeps happening.
And you guys performed there as well, right?
I did perform there, yes, for the commencement concert.
So what was that like?
That was an amazing experience. It was the first time my program, the music production program, was part of the commencement concert. Normally, it's just the performance people that are part of that concert. And it's the first time in 10 years that the Masters in Music Production Innovation Technology program was part of this concert. So it was kind of a big deal. Three students from my class were part of the concert. So that was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
tell
got
me-
to do my original tracks at that thing. So I performed Sheelavati
Oh,
in front of
wow.
1,500 people in that dome. It was pretty cool.
Did they understand it?
I mean, there were a bunch of Indian people in the audience. Everyone's parents were there, and it was nice. Yeah, my mum saw me perform for the first time. I mean, I've been doing this since 2020, so like it was cool to have her there.
Yeah,
She saw me
it's a
perform.
great way to have the first performance,
First
right?
performance,
Like you've set the
yeah.
bar extremely high now.
That's
You can't call her to highest place, you have to call her to such places now.
Yeah.
But that was your gig, and you also had another gig, right?
I did do another gig, which I anyway wanted to do a gig with a live band.
Okay.
And I sort of got my classmates together that play and we practiced a little bit. And I had a gig lined up. I got selected for the artist. Like the music business people had a course where they had to select artists to manage. So I got selected for that. And then I told the person that was my manager, Nico, that, okay, hey, I want to do a gig and can you hook it up? So he sort of hooked the gig up and I got the band together. And it was like a dream of mine to perform with a live band. So it was my first time doing that.
Okay.
And about 50 of my friends showed up to the gig. It was a success. We made a little money and it was my first time doing a live band thing. So I was like, okay, this is definitely what I'm going to be doing next. If the venue can afford the budget for a live band, live band is the way to go.
So where was that? In Valencia only?
In Valencia, the club was Black Note.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how do you like sell it to a club saying that, you're an Indian, you're going to be performing rap?
Indian hip-hop music from Berklee. Berklee was a huge selling point.
Okay, Berklee was a huge selling point.
And my artist manager spoke Spanish.
Okay.
So that conversation, the navigation of the conversation happened really smoothly because of that. So I feel like wherever let's say you want to book a venue or whatever, you need to know the person that knows the language.
Yeah.
That makes everything way more streamlined.
But how did you find the language there? Like, what are the challenges you faced?
I started learning the language slowly. So like I picked up enough to like get by.
You picked up enough to swear at the locals.
No, I didn't. I mean, the locals are really nice, but I learned just about enough to get by. It was good. I met a lot of nice people there, and the language gap. There is a huge language gap. They don't speak any
English at all.
English at all. Yeah,
Okay.
barely any English. But there are a few people that like okay, our classmates that are from Spain or that are Spanish. They all speak English. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, like, did you do a course in Spanish language?
No, it was all in English. So it's an American university that has their.
No, like how you have to appear for IELTS to get into UK.
Yeah, so you have to do your IELTS regardless, and then you get admission.
But you have to do your IELTS even though you're going to Spain.
Spain, but the college is an American college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they want your English proficiency to
They
be at
need
a certain level.
yeah, you need I think a 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the big deal about Berklee? Like, it's like the gold standard in terms of music. So why is that such a prestigious university?
I think it's like I mean it's either Juilliard, Berkeley, or like it's just one of those Ivy League schools for music. So it's really sought out for, and
But yeah, you've been performing, so you went there because you wanted to.
I wanted to learn the
Diversify,
technical. Yeah, I wanted to learn the technical aspects of music production, and okay, how do I stop paying an engineer, and how do I stop paying a producer, and how do I do a lot of this myself is a huge part of what, and also how do I communicate with the producer and the engineer better, and how do I get the best out of my music in the most technical, like the technical part of it has to be sound, like the artistic part of it I already had on lock. I
Yeah.
had a lot going on that side, and I knew that okay, this is what my identity is, this is what my music is. I've been really into music for a long time, so when I started just putting out the music, I knew what I was doing with the music side of things.
Okay. But when after getting done with the course, what more do you feel that you've learned compared to, like, initially you said you were just focusing on the music part of it. Now you've learned so much more. So
Yeah.
what all have you become much better at that you can, do your own thing now?
Oh, definitely a huge portion of sound engineering, a huge portion of music production, everything from learning how to set up a studio to navigating your the DAWs, which is your digital audio workstations on which you'll make the music, be it Logic, Ableton. These are the softwares that
Yeah.
they use. So they teach you the softwares. Then there was a video class. Then there was a really interesting class was this class called Max, which is the software they use to make visuals, which is something that I didn't know I was getting myself into, which was a compulsory course. Marta was my professor. She's one of the few people who's like uh, registered as a Max teacher, like their proficiency
Yeah.
levels for it. So there's certified. She's certified in Max to teach Max, and she's really cool. And I learned that software, which was a whole new world to me. And we had a DJ class, which was sort of the crux at what like made my Berklee experience worthwhile. Nacho Marco was the instructor for the DJ course, and he was like really good. Gave me the confidence to like, okay, now I can DJ too.
Yeah.
So I'll start DJing soon. So that's like definitely something that I really
We've
want
got a
to
DJ
do.
in the house as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should collab. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun, of
Yeah,
course.
actually it will.
So, like, are you more towards the production side of things, or like you mentioned earlier, like you are into rap as well?
Yeah, so I want to do everything. Like I will produce for other artists. I'll produce my own tracks. I would even sit and work on the mix and master for an artist. I would do it myself. I would sit with another engineer to do it. And then also I definitely love performing live. So that's the whole thing that okay, I would want to see myself on stage performing live. And more so because that's as in general I'm like a junkie. So I want to be on stage. I like the high that I get from being on stage.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm actually chasing after is being on stage. I love being on stage.
And you also had some questions about Berklee, right? So now is the time to get it all out. The mics and all that. You can ask the more technical questions.
Yeah, so like I was really curious about the gear collection that they have in Berklee, because I've heard a lot
Oh,
of
the
things
gear is insane. I mean, there are 5 small studios, and they have one like a huge studio with which is like their main recording room where they have a separation for the drum kit and where like the ensemble can be held. You can have a proper orchestra over there and they could record. And the mic list is insane. There's like, I don't know how many mics, or 200, 300 mics are there. It's just really good quality systems and like equipment, and
do they have the vintage audio gear, like the tape tape delay?
No, they
No,
don't.
tape
Now it's
delay.
all digital.
Acha.
Yeah. Their main sound, like the main soundboard is the Pro Tools, like
S6.
64 channel, I think. Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
And
Like,
a lot of analog gear, a lot of great equipment. I got to like work with the TR-808, like the Roland drum machines, and just learn, okay, this is what it is, and then realize, okay, as a producer, what my production flow would be. I know that, okay, I hate looking at a screen. As a lawyer, I hated looking at the screen anyway. I was like, okay, I don't want to use a screen. So then I started they put me onto the push. I really liked the push, and I realized that, okay, it came so naturally to me once I had the right equipment with me, because I was anyway like really into music. My dad's seen Def Leppard live, he's seen Floyd live, he's seen like just the works live, and then then when I started going to live shows, my first experience I think at a good live show was seeing Guns N' Roses live. And I saw Metallica, you just name it, every gig I could ever get my hands on. My uncle ran a restaurant, so the bars had liquor. The liquor companies sponsor all the events. I always got free passes, never paid for a gig. So I've never missed an NH7 for this reason, because I always got a free ticket. So just been involved in music that way, just learning the ropes, but never really like took it. No one lets you no one tells you that, okay, how do you go about music, or no one takes it seriously as a career. It's like, okay, you need to be in India, engineer, doctor, lawyer. So I actually did that. And then at the end of that, I was like, okay, this is fucking miserable.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, no, I need that switch. And then I did my first show 2020, and I heard people sing Sheelavati. And when I heard people sing Sheelavati, it was like an indescribable feeling. And then I was like, okay, I really need to chase this feeling.
Yeah. But before doing your show, you released music.
Yes.
So that's how you built your audience basically without even performing live.
Sheelavati is what really built the audience. People were singing Sheelavati, and it was a birthday gig, I think 19 December 2020. And I think this was mid-pandemic, if I'm not mistaken. But around 200 people showed up. It was a rager. People were sick of being at home, and they were singing the songs, and they were happy, and I felt really good. And the crazy part about that, Ishan was my DJ for that gig, and both of us linked up at Berklee.
Okay.
So he's my flatmate at Berklee.
Oh, okay.
So it sort of worked out. I applied for the early intake, and then he told me he applied. I told him that he's gonna get in. Then he told me he got in, and then I was like, okay, let's live together. And that's how it sort of, materialized. It was like life coming full circle.
But what was the story behind Sheelavati? How did that start? Like, where did the idea first come in your head?
Sheelavati was just organically written. I felt it was a lot of things that came together, and I feel like because my mind's all over the place, there's not a single storyline, there's multiple storylines in different verses.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it actually came from, it just came. And then the line Sheelavati Hui Sati is what actually stuck with everyone. And there were 3 layers to it. Sheelavati being the ideal woman, and then regardless, they set the person on fire. And then also Sheelavati is like, yeah.
I say let's play Sheelavati, man. Let's do it. Would you say that's your favorite song? Because I feel the one with Divya, that's my favorite
That's
song.
your favorite song.
That's my favorite song.
I feel like the beauty of my music is that it's in so many different genres that people have their own favorites.
Yeah.
Sheelavati is close to me because it's my first. And I mean, for me, it's also like I work on the track. I'm listening to it over and over. And at the end of it, I'm tired of listening to it. So I'm not going to go listen to the track again.
Yeah.
So it's done for me. It's out there now. It's for the audience to listen to. Because while I'm in the process of it, I listen to it a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I'm just like...
And even when you're performing it, you're constantly like listening to yourself sing again. So
yeah. So I feel like the process of working on it is where I get tired of listening to it. And then at the end of it, it's like, okay, then someone will tell me, okay, I really like the song. And that comes later.
Yeah. So it's time to play it now. So how many songs do you have? You have 4 out.
No, I have like 20 tracks out.
But on Spotify?
On Spotify, I have 20 tracks.
You have 20?
Out, yeah.
I can move the mic, right? Closer to it. Sorry to make you listen to your own song again.
Tu meri ladki wo.
आदि है मेरे ज़बान की है क्रांति है मांदी है चांदी है आती है जाती है लौट के वो आती है प्यार निभाता हूँ रास्ते दिखाता हूँ गाने वो गाती है पीती वो पानी है उसको मैं पीता हूँ नशे हो जाती है रातें ही रातों में कांटे ही कांटों में नाचना सिखाता हूँ गर्लफ्रेंड है सीता माँ मेरी गीता शीशा ना
This won't cause me problems on YouTube, right?
कॉफी ना पीता पीता ब्लू रिबन की बम्बई में चीता वो लड़की बैठीटा मैं जैसे फ्रीजा शीलावती हुई सदी आगे तेरे पीछे गड्डी प्यार हाथ पट्टी में क्लासे दी चढ़ी में हाथ में फटी ये बात नहीं बनी
A lot of these lines, I don't even know where they came from.
But what's your process when you write songs? Like, do you sit down, dedicate yourself an hour or something, or
no,
does it just come
I
to you?
feel like one thing is consistency, doing it every day, writing regardless of what's happening.
Okay.
So I maybe even if I get 3 lines in a day, that's good enough for me. But I'm getting those 3 lines in every day. And now eventually, so doing those 3 lines every day is when you're going to actually, it's going to hit you and you're going to be like, okay, I can write the whole verse in.
Yeah.
Or you take those 3 lines from other 3 lines, piece them together and you create it. But it's the process of doing it every day.
Okay.
So I don't stop writing. And I also knew that, okay, like I've been into hip hop and I've been studying hip hop for a while, but just studying music in general. So whether it's Pink Floyd or Freddie Mercury or The Doors or Janis Joplin, whatever it is, it's everything plus a lot of hip hop. So I knew that, okay, hip hop spoke to me in a different way. So I knew that, okay, I can do this, but I don't know how to really go about doing this. So it was a journey, like it took some time to get here. I knew I could freestyle really well.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, we need to figure out how to make this work the right way. So Sheelavati just sort of happened. So then I was like, okay, I got one in, and the second you put that first track out, then it's like, it was almost like a snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was it like dealing with Spotify for your first song? Like, what is the process you get registered?
So the way to go about putting out a track on Spotify is you go through a distributor, and that can be any distributor. People use TuneCore, CD Baby. There's a bunch of them. There's
Okay.
a lot of them. I can't even know I don't even know all the names right now. But you go there, you can pay them a little bit, and they'll put your track out on Spotify. And there's like you need to have the track in a WAV file and a certain amount of like 44,000 kilohertz, and there's a specification. You match that and then you put it out, and then it's done.
And I just found out that you had recorded this at home. It doesn't sound like that.
I recorded Sheelavati at home, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
A
that.
lot of the tracks that I've put out, I've recorded at home.
So what was it? Just a Rode mic? Did you put a blanket or something on top? How did that go?
Yeah, I put a blanket. I tried to create the space. I mean, and this is at a point where I had no idea how to do things.
Yeah.
This is way before all of this even, like Berklee and all of that. This is way before that. And figure out, okay, how do I do this? I just bought the mic. I bought a Focusrite interface. And the only thing I spent money on was 2 nice monitors. So I was like, okay, well, at least I'll listen to the music regardless of what happens. At least I get good monitors.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. And I had a crappy laptop. Use that. And I recorded all the tracks. Like a bunch of the tracks I recorded at home. Yeah.
But yeah, you said that you are planning to, launch your album now later this year.
The album, yeah. Oh, so
I'm very-
sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you didn't. I'm very interested in knowing because thus far all your songs are released as singles. None of them are
Singles,
albums.
Yeah, so I knew that, okay, this is the time that I got to put an album out. It's like, it was there. And the album was my thesis project at Berklee. The album deals with issues of race, religion, gender, caste at a global level. So it's a way for the world to understand what's happening. And the production's insane. Everyone's going to really like... the tracks are great. And it's an 8-track album. It's titled The Graduation because it was my thesis. I graduated. And also it's a kind of a ode to, I guess, Kanye.
Yeah.
And he dropped out. I'm actually graduating, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, so the album is something that I'm really looking forward to. It'll drop later this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what was the inspiration behind it? You're saying race, religion issues and all that. So is it the current affairs that really
It's
impacted
current
it?
affairs, but it's just been the issues in general, from drawing the parallel of what racial issues are in the US to what religion issues are in India.
Yeah.
and just showing the whole world that everyone's going through the same thing. We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
That's where the crux of the album comes from.
And I feel a lot of hip hop artists there have encountered that in their early days, and then they've turned to hip hop or rap or music, and that's been the bedrock of their career.
Yeah, so I also feel like over there it's talking about a herd, a block.
Yeah.
But here I'm trying to talk about the whole world.
That's true. That they are very specific and local issues.
Yeah. So here it's like it's a way for people who aren't involved in drugs, gun violence, and but people that are dealing with these issues regardless.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of issues. So I'm not just talking about race as an issue. I'm talking about religion as an issue, caste as an issue, gender as an issue.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of issues under the sun. But I was like, hip hop is the medium that was like the culture. I'm blessed to be a part of it, and the way to put it, like I arrived as a guest to this culture of hip hop.
Yeah.
It's not Indian culture. It's black culture.
Yeah.
But it spoke to me, and this is like my way of trying to show that we're not that different. We all deal with a lot of these issues, and I feel like the way to trump these issues is love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the overarching message that you're going to...
Yeah, is the part of the main message of the album.
Okay. So you said there are 8 songs. So is each song going to be tackling a different issue, or how is it that going to be?
That's something that you'll have to find out when it drops.
Okay.
So it's fun.
But how far are you in the production stage?
The album is ready.
Oh, it's completely ready.
It's completely ready.
So then what are you waiting for?
I wanted to meet you first to talk about the album.
So yeah, this is breaking news on the podcast then.
Yeah. So maybe definitely work out how do I make sure I get the most out of the album. Make sure how a lot of people listen to it. Because
Okay.
I feel like the current climate to release things and marketing, and I feel like that's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, even though you have, let's assume, the best rap album from India, if no one knows about it, no one can say that it's the best rap album.
That's true. So what do you plan? How do you plan to advertise it?
So that's a complicated task because I don't have like an exorbitant budget to do it.
Yeah.
But like meeting you would be one way of doing it.
Right now you're advertising me.
Yeah. I feel like it's a two-way street.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what we are there, right? To help each other.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a huge part of what things are like. We have to help each other grow. That's the only way to do
Yeah.
it. If you're going to start looking at it like crabs in a barrel, it's not going to work. We all have to like make sure we all grow together.
Like before the episode, we were discussing about the crabs in a barrel thing and someone not getting back and things like that. So
That happens all the time.
yeah, and I don't
because-
understand why. Like if they are helping you out, they are getting helped indirectly themselves, and they
Of
don't see
course.
that. Yeah.
Also, they should see the potential in people that they're working with.
Exactly.
Like, if I see that this podcast has potential to be huge,
Yeah.
and you see me as an artist who has that means it's like real recognizing real.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's the important thing. Regardless of how many followers you have or what your Instagram status is, that shit really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because eventually, when it all boils over, people are going to recognize what the real thing is.
That's what.
Yeah.
And can we talk about the 2 events that you told me before, the NH7 and High Spirits one?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely
It's-
be doing a lot of shows at High because that's like home. I did one of my first few gigs at High with that stage. So I'll definitely be playing there. And NH7 is also in the works.
What's the NH7 story?
The NH7 story is that someone that came to speak at Berklee, Madam Gandhi, performed at the Weekender in 2006.
Okay.
I spoke to her and people were asking her a bunch of questions, and I told her that I remember seeing you in 2006 at the Weekender. So how did you make that happen? And she just said that I'll put you in touch with the people that do it. And yeah.
So then she put you in touch.
She
with the
put me in
people.
touch, put in a great word for me, and said that we'll figure out a way to make this happen.
Okay, and what is the process to get enrolled? Do you have to audition for them?
For Berklee?
No, for NH7. Like
NH7, okay, so I haven't really been booked yet. I've been speaking to them about figuring out how it's going to work out for next year. They don't, like, when they start working on the bookings is when I'll get confirmed as an artist.
okay, but that would be like a huge thing for you, right?
Yeah, it's been a dream of mine to play the Weekender stage.
Yeah. So that's
But that's like an inevitable thing. Like, I know that it's going to happen next year.
So will you time your album in such a way that it's a few months before NH7 so that
No, I think I'm gonna time my album on my time. Like I want to put the album out.
okay.
I'll do it this year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I turned this year, so I thought that this is also a thing for me that I wanted to put it out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that the gigs will keep happening. I'm going to do a gig to promote the album regardless.
Okay.
So me performing at, let's say, a festival is not going to change that for me. Yeah.
And it's important, like you said, to have your own original content rather than just doing covers.
I mean, I feel like you should do covers, do whatever it takes, whatever you feel is for you,
Yeah.
that you can, that whatever you want to do is good. Like, do it if you want. If you think covering is the way you want to be, sure. Like for me, I'll do a cover gig because I like the music that I want to cover. It has nothing to do with, but I also feel like if you want to be known as an artist, you're going to have to put out your own, what is you at the end of
Yeah.
it, because everyone's going, because then it's just like people are going to know, oh, that cover is really good, but who are you?
Yeah, that's true.
The question that's going to come up.
And I think the gratification you get when people recognize you for your own music, when they are singing along with you.
But that's a different
something
feeling.
else, yeah.
That was a surreal feeling. Like in 2020 when that happened,
Yeah.
that was unreal. Like that's when I realized that, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Like people singing Sheelavati with you, Rowdy with you,
Yeah.
singing the cello with you.
Yeah. So that's where I feel like I realized that, and I started off with my original music. I didn't really start off covering or
Yeah.
start off doing a lot of shows with a lot of bands. Whatever shows I did pre 2020 was me freestyling with hip hop beats playing in the back, just to get into the groove of, okay, how do I do this? And then 2020 when Sheelavati dropped, the same year December, I did the gig. People were singing it, and that's something changed in my brain. The wiring switched.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I really need to be on stage. Like there's no way around it, because that keeps my mental health okay. I keep my physical health also in tune so that I can be on stage.
Yeah.
So everything sort of, it brings balance to my life. Like music has brought balance to my life. I got into music because of drugs, and I got out of music because of drugs. So that's like life coming full circle again.
So what was the journey like? How did you get into it, and how did you
I
battle
mean,
your way
I
out of
feel
it?
like it was when you listen to Cocaine by Eric Clapton, it was like, okay, what is that?
Yeah.
So I try to figure out what is that. Or when it's Snoop Dogg smoking a joint, I was like, what is that? So I went around the whole process of figuring out what that was. Post my 10th grade, I figured out, okay, got
That was
into
your bad
it.
boy era.
Yeah, it was really bad. Man. It was disgusting. So I feel like 11th through 3rd year of college and law school was me just fooling around with music and drugs, and it was bad. And then you sort of hit rock bottom at some point, and you realize that, okay, you can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
So then I went to rehab for about 3 months and got out. Then I realized that my mom goes like, okay, do you want to quit law and, do you want to do something easier? So I said, no, I want to finish this. So I finished it. I thought that, okay, the right way to go about it would be getting a job, working at a law firm, becoming a partner at a law firm. I started working, and that's when I realized that, okay, this is not it for me. I need, as someone that has an addictive personality, I'm chasing a high.
Yeah.
So that's how music also came into the picture. And then I realized that, okay, I got into it trying to figure out what Eric Clapton's Cocaine meant, to quitting and going like, okay, now I know what it means.
Yeah. So it's like you've come full circle now. Yeah.
That's something that I feel like I've had a lot of those full circle moments in life. So I feel like that was...
And that's an important learning experience, right? And you know that you can be at that low and you can still get out of it. So that's
course.
powerful, actually.
It's about a decision that you want to make. Like everyone's going to face adversity. Everyone has their own shit. It's about how you're going to figure out how to work your way around it. And, everyone has a chance to come out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about how you figure it out.
But what do you think is the music industry's obsession with the drug culture? Like, when do you think that's begun, and how prevalent do you think it is? Because you've interacted with so many.
Extremely prevalent. The music industry thrives on people being numb and people being stupid.
Yeah.
And drugs make you numb and stupid. So it's like, okay, everyone wants to like go for a techno gig and get, it's like, it's actually just people are just getting dumbed down by it. The music is low frequency. I'm not saying techno is low frequency. I'm just saying that the music is low frequency. So people are like, they're just listening to shit. So they're not going to listen. Like if I start talking about positive things, no one's gonna want to listen to that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how do we get around that? So you need to start talking. I feel like when everyone realizes that you need to find a certain amount of balance, is when people will start changing their music listening and what they'll gravitate towards. It'll change slowly.
But it's not just the listeners, it's even the artists, right? Even they are.
I mean, the artists are in pain. The artist is always in pain. Like when you see artists dying because of drug overdose, it's because they're already in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in too deep, and the industry thrives on them being in that vulnerable position. So they make sure that, okay, keep giving him his drugs. Eventually he dies, and then the label still keeps making money off that product.
Okay. So all the artists that have died, the labels are still thriving.
Yeah. Mac Miller's, I'm sure, Amy Winehouse's music, the label makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of the artists that died, the labels were in the position to own their music, they make a huge chunk of the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And about labels, you said that a lot of young artists, they get taken for a ride by the companies.
Yeah,
So
of course.
what can you speak more about that?
So they would ideally, when you see an artist like shoot up, they'll do it independently to a certain extent, and then something happens that a label will be like a vulture. They'll come in and be like, okay, this is someone that's rising. Let's go grab that person, and then they'll give a shitty contract to that person, and that contract will have a really bad deal, and then the artist has no sense or no understanding to know what to do, but they'll go ahead and sign it because they think that this is what the right thing to do for them is. They sign it, and then their 7 years of their life, they've just 7-10 years, they've just sold it away to a label, and then that label might have a bunch of other artists in their pipe, and they'll try to make sure whoever the best is, they'll push the money to that person. So they're not going to make sure everyone grows evenly.
Okay. But
So you get stuck.
what is the contract like? Like, how do they exploit people? Do they take more money from?
Yeah, so they'll own your masters basically. They'll own a huge portion of what your work is, and then the cuts will be like a 60-40 cut, a 70-30 cut, where the label makes the profit.
Okay.
And the artist gets a small percentage of that. And then that's not fair, right? Because like it's your intellectual property.
Yeah.
You need, like, if you have complete ownership over that product, this is when you'll make the money off that product. And it's like, okay, Spotify pays $0.0008 per stream. So if a label is taking 70% of that,
Yeah.
you're making nothing.
Yeah.
So, let's assume, even though Spotify is not paying artists well enough, but if you're making 0.0008, the whole thing comes to you. At least you're making some money in every 1,000 streams, every 2,000 streams, you're making a certain amount of money. So when I saw my first like $50 come in from streaming, I was like, oh, okay, this is possible. I did $50. Oh, this is like big money. But I covered all my like investment cost of the music through the gigs. So that was like, okay, I've broken even with music in 2021 itself. So I was like, okay, this is good. This is a good place to start. It's going to go. It's like I climbed the law hill to realize on top of the law hill that like, okay, this is a crap hill. So I climbed down the hill, and then I started climbing another hill. So I'm somewhere at the first few steps of the next one. So that's where I'm at.
But your law career also helped you see these shitty labels, and you can help
Everything.
people out. And I think even you've been offered a pretty shitty deal once, right?
Yeah,
What was that like?
I've seen 3 really shit contracts that have fallen on my table. And that's when I realized that, okay, I want to help artists to ensure that this doesn't happen to them. I want to help artists, producers, engineers to make sure that everyone gets paid well. Because as an artist, I realized that, okay, I'm not here to, what the labels are doing, that's not what I'm about. So I feel like I want to build a fiduciary relationship as a lawyer between artists and producers, give them good contracts so that everyone's secure, everyone's making money, everyone's happy. That's the space that I would definitely want to be in.
And you also cited MC Stan as an example. So
He's
is
independent. He's from Pune. It was genius being part of Big Boss. Like, more props to him. Like, it's amazing what he did. He's probably making a huge buttload of money.
Yeah, as he deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's young. I think he's 23, 24. Good for him.
Yeah. So is that a route that a lot of youngsters will aspire probably in the hip hop industry? Maybe
mean,
not from
there's,
Pune, even from
like,
smaller cities in India.
everyone's going to try now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like rags to riches kind of a story.
Hmm.
Everyone's going to try. So something will slip through the cracks. That's what's going to happen.
And you were speaking about Amy. Did you see the documentary?
Yeah,
Amy?
of course.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, even you need a really good support system. Like in that case, the parents were also terrible.
Yeah.
So they preyed on that poor child's life, and they were like, okay, no, keep performing, and then 27, and she couldn't make it past.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like, and finally the heart stopped working because of all the drugs. And that her music was sort of like a huge, like, it's a huge part of who I am. Like, I mean, just music in general, but Amy's music too. So I did watch the documentary.
Yeah. Even the Kanye's also been a huge
A huge influence. Yeah, that's why I'm going for the graduation album. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's a good segue into mental health. I feel like being
Yeah.
bipolar, it's highs and lows. The manic feels like you're God,
Hmm.
and the depressive, it feels like you just want to die. And then it's the highs and lows of dealing with that. And then when you're manic, you'll start spewing shit that you don't really even mean. It just comes out, and you just believe it so firmly. And obviously he's at a position and place and platform where stupid shit comes out and it can't come out because everyone's watching. I'm pretty sure there's 100 people like that with the same issue that are spewing the same shit. But I feel like, obviously, take your medication if you're at that position.
And I don't think he has anyone in his life he really trusts, right? Apart from his mom who passed away. Yeah. Like, he's got everyone who's looking to make something from him, and that's what he keeps thinking. Like, these guys are just using me, and when they get good and I go down the drain, they are just going to leave me. So that's probably why he has all these kind of trust issues.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you need a good support system. You need the right kind of people around you all the time.
But what if there are people and he's not willing, like he's not taking any medication, he's not even addressing the fact that he has an issue. He just thinks that the world is against him. And in such a situation, what do you do?
I feel like a part of being, when you're going through this, like a bipolar manic thing, is you feeling paranoid. So I'm sure his paranoia is heightened to a level that I cannot comprehend. Like, I feel when it happens to me, I feel paranoid about a lot of random shit.
Yeah.
But I also know that, okay, there are ways to deal with your mental health issues. So I obviously see a therapist, you can see a psychiatrist, I've been doing it. So I know that, and also it happened because of substance use. So substances and mental health issues just don't go together.
Yeah.
And they're also, if you don't have anything, it's going to cost shit. So there's no way around it.
But where do you think things started going south for Kanye? Because he's arguably the greatest producer of all time. He has a good shoe brand, a good fashion brand. So where do you think it went?
I feel like substances with... honestly, I can't comment on where it went wrong. I feel like when he started with the anti-Semitic shit is when everything went really south. But even then, I feel like... Are you going to chime in?
No.
Okay. I don't know why it... But I feel like he can't be cancelled that way because people are still listening to the music.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, they'll always appreciate the classics.
Good music, yeah. And also, like, it was when Donda released, it was like the whole world was just sitting and watching what was happening.
Yeah.
You know, it was like an unreal movement. So I know that if at any point he wants to do this again, he's just going to say that I'm dropping another album and everyone's just going to sit and watch.
But is he performing live or these days? Or?
I think he did something at Travis Scott's show.
Okay.
Yes, Travis Scott dropped Utopia, which... I mean, I'm more of an Astroworld person now that I've listened to Utopia. But when he performed it at Rome, and I think that was like the unveiling of the Utopia album, was like the premiere. And Kanye was there, and he didn't really have to do much, man. He just stood, walked on the stage, and there were, I think, 70,000 people. And when Kanye feels like he's God, I totally understand why he feels that way. Because there's 70,000 people, and he doesn't have to say anything. People are singing his shit.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what that feels like. So I'm pretty sure that can make you go crazy too. You know what I mean?
That could be, yeah. But all of these people have had some or the other issue. Eminem had issues in the
with
past.
Drugs, yeah.
That's what.
I told you, artists are in pain. So
is that what leads to such good music? Are they, like, in a way getting their story out? And
yeah, it's like a catharsis.
Exactly. Venting to such a large audience.
Yeah.
and then they feel that there are people who relate to that pain, and then that's why
Yeah.
these people tend to become more and more popular, because people say, okay, fine, they are going through the same things that we have. Yeah.
The relatability is a huge factor, but I feel like uh, it's also like when it's pain and happiness, right? Like a lot of good music, like even happy songs come. There's so many happy songs that come through so much pain. You know what I mean?
That's true. But these, like, have you ever encountered anyone with mental health issues considering killing themselves or something that way? Like in the music industry, it's pretty common, right?
Yeah, honestly,
It's pretty sad as well.
Honestly, to bring it up is weird because at my year in Berklee, a student did like commit suicide.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really sad.
what was the reason? Any note?
I mean, he wasn't from my class, and I didn't know him at all. But this happened. So even at something as like a prestigious school like Berkeley, like this can happen. You know what I mean? And it's like people have issues. So, like talk to people, get help, know that you're not alone. That'd be the first place to start.
But what was the college's response after that? Did they get everyone together, have like
They
a
tried.
talk?
They tried their best, but you know, it's like, what can the college really do in this situation? And how much can they do? And like, it's one person taking a decision to do something. College, how much can you hold a college liable over?
Yeah,
this
I'm
or
not saying
something
liable.
like
I'm
that?
just saying so that other students maybe don't go down that route. Maybe have
Man,
counseling
can you
sessions.
imagine how many engineering students do that on a
Yeah,
daily
exactly.
basis? How many medical students must be doing it? Like the pressure is like unreal in India. So I mean, I can't even like think about it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true. But still, like on the whole, Berkeley's been a good.
They
big-
tried their best. Honestly, they tried their best. That's the only way I could say. Like,
Yeah.
what more could they do?
That's true. But I'm saying on the whole, it's been a good like journey for you, Berkeley.
Oh, it was an amazing experience. I got all the technical know-how,
Yeah.
and I finally figured out that okay, yeah, now I can call myself a producer, an engineer. I can call
So
myself
you're
a
gonna be the next
DJ.
Kanye.
I don't know, man. I hope I don't pull the same crazy shit. No, I think I'm definitely going to be Siddhant.
if you get cancelled one day, this is gonna be your first podcast appearance. So that'll be good for me.
I don't think I'll get cancelled.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not praying on that. But you had plenty of Berkeley questions. You can get them out now.
I mean, like most of them were answered during.
Most of them are answered during the podcast. But like, are you considering going there for like a DJing thing, or what is it? Are you also going into the business?
DJing is a tiny course in the
DJing
production
is-
program.
DJing is not something like I think needs like
Like a
thought,
course.
you know, like
Okay.
You can figure it out yourself.
Of
is what I
course,
think.
yeah, 100%.
So you're going for mainly the production business part of thing.
Production, not production. Like I was planning to go for music business, but
Mm-hmm.
like I got like a better deal in Canada, so like Spain thoda bhi.
Canada is nice because then you'll get to continue staying there. I think that'll be facilitated way more easily in Canada, if that's what you want.
Yeah, so like my end goal is to like
Live
be in
abroad.
India,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
My end goal was to come back to India because like I need the food here, man. Like the food.
You
being
didn't like the
around your
paella
own
there.
Paella is like a poor man's biryani. Like really poor man's biryani.
You can make it a rich man's biryani. You can put the leg piece or something in it.
So they have, I mean, there's two types of paella. They have your the Valencian paella, which is rabbit and chicken meat, and the others, which is the seafood paella, and they have a vegetable paella. All are like really fika, bro. They have no flavor. It's just about okay.
And how's the booze there?
Really cheap.
The Estrella.
Oh, the beer's nice. It's really cheap. People are drunk all the time. The drinking culture is crazy.
That sounds like every European country.
Yeah, that's true. They drink quite a bit over there. It was unreal for me. Like I couldn't keep up. Honestly, I had to like. And also the crazy thing is, the pot, they have those cafes, and it's insanely strong pot. Like it's not for like, I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted. You know what I mean?
So it took you a while to get used to it.
It did, yeah. It's quite the journey there too.
Quite the journey, yeah. And I think a lot of your colleagues and all also must be encouraging those kind of things, like going out, partying, going to clubs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you're it's like when you're part of the music thing, there's two sides to it. One part of it, you want to stay in and just, work on your own thing, but at the same time, you got to be out there talking to people, placing yourself at the right place at the right
Yeah.
time. So it's juggling both those things.
And are there any renowned artists you met there? Any experiences?
I mean, I met a lot of great people over there. I have three of my classmates that are on my album. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this album, man, I'm damn excited.
Yeah,
Are you going to like release a teaser or something?
I'll definitely play the album for you.
Now?
No, maybe not now.
Maybe 20 seconds of it.
20 seconds of it. How do I do that? How do I?
You can just, with your phone, you can put it
Yeah?
on the mic. Yeah, why not?
Okay, let's do a little bit.
A world exclusive.
Yeah.
But did you feel that when you were performing in Spain for your gigs and when you met more people, did you feel that there was an audience that was building that might appreciate
course,
this kind of music?
Yeah, I mean, like now that I think about it, my top third city on Spotify, top fourth city on Spotify is Valencia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's Pune.
Pune, Bombay, Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've
But that
performed...
keeps moving.
That keeps moving, yeah. But you've performed mainly in Pune. Have you performed anywhere else in India?
No, so that's something I'll be probably doing Hyderabad in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it going to be one place or you're going to do multiple places in Hyderabad?
See, the thing is, I'm doing it all independent. So
Yeah.
I need more people need to like figure out who I am. Once they figure out, okay, this is the artist, then they listen to the music and then they're hooked.
Yeah.
But they have to go to the point where they actually listen to the music. So just to make sure that happening is the biggest task. Yeah.
Time for the music. And you also move from like English and Hindi.
Yeah, so it's genre bending music too, because I'll also go from hip hop to blues to jazz to rowdy, which is like electronic music.
Yeah.
And I love moving through these genres. And hip hop and rap was something that started it all for me. But you might even see me do a blues album later in the future, a rock album. Like anything can happen for me because I really just music is what it is for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also realizing that, again, it's the whole full circle thing. I realized that, okay, the job, the thing, that just didn't work out for me. But also knowing that I went through that whole ordeal. So I know that, okay, this is my space. This is where I'm happy. This is where I look good. This is where I feel good. I feel good about myself. I feel comfortable. And then I'm not like saying... Everyone's journey is different. So me going through the whole thing of law was really important for me because now I know a lot of things that I need to know. And I feel like I'm good for myself. Like that's something that like the learning experience, meeting the people that I met there, all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So whether I meet a doctor that's a rapper now or I meet any artist that's, maybe done marketing and that they want to make music, I totally understand where the process that went in behind it.
Yeah.
Or any art that they want to pursue. Yeah. Let's play a little bit.
Pray for my enemies. I pray for the energy. I pray that you hear from me. I pray for the Hennessy. I pray for my enemies. I pray for the energy. I pray that you hear from me. I pray for my.
So that's your part then.
So I come in. Yeah.
So who is this singer?
This is my classmate Chelsea Como.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in my class for the MPTI program.
All right. So where is she now?
She's in Italy. She was at the Travis Scott opening for the thing, Utopia thing.
Oh,
she
that's
was there at that
crazy.
thing, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. She was one of the people that I met at college that really we sort of got, Yeah.
So this plan to make an album came from there only. Like,
No, the plan. I mean, they asked me that, okay, what will you do for your thesis? And I was like, okay, I need to get everything done. So
Yeah.
I was like, album bhi kara lete and let's get the thesis also done as the album. So everyone did their own.
So what did others do?
everyone had so that's the crazy part, man. Everyone was so different and so versatile, and they do such different things. Like someone did their entire thing as a Dolby Atmos mix. Their whole thing was just mixing the tracks in Dolby Atmos. Someone did a max audio visual kind of a installation, art installations, or someone did EPs, and people did really different kind of stuff. Everyone did their own thing, and it was really interesting. Different genres. There's only like in a class of 50 people, there's only one other person that did a hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll tell you like
Yeah,
what
how
you
diverse
need
it
to-
was.
Yeah.
And where were the people from? Which countries?
People over like 50, 60 different countries. More than that actually. Like in totality, I think maybe 100 different countries. But a lot of Americans, obviously. Yeah.
But did they want the thesis to be in English only, or if someone's from
Nothing.
Latin America, they can do that kind of
There
music?
was no, they didn't box your thesis in any way. You could do whatever you wanted
Okay.
as long as they saw the merit of the thesis. Like they saw that, okay, you've put in the work and this is worthy of the Berklee thesis thing. Like that's the way they looked at it.
Okay.
Like the language was never a factor.
All right.
I mean, your written thesis that you submit, the document has to be in English, but the project itself didn't need to be in English.
Okay. So all this recording and all of that was done
Was
there.
there,
only.
yeah. So I got the best equipment. I got to collaborate with some of the best people. Again, that was like a full circle thing. Like everything worked out really well over there.
Yeah. Man, this is exciting.
Yeah.
It's damn good stuff. And the Chelsea one, when she sings and then when you come in, is that going to be in English, Hindi?
Yeah. Oh, so again, this album has both English and Hindi.
Okay.
Because but more English than Hindi. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely has your cello in it.
What was the origin of the cello? Like
I
that's
don't know,
a,
it
that's
just
a
came up.
part of
Yeah, it
your
just
songs.
came up. Like, I don't know. It came up super organically. It just happened. It's not like I thought about, oh, this is what my ad lib was going to be. It just sort of happened.
And then it's stuck with it. Like
stuck with
when
it,
you're going to
yeah.
sell merchandise and all, it's going to be
I
your
might
face
have
and
I
cello.
might have a cello t-shirt. Yeah, why
Yeah.
not, honestly?
Maybe let's launch your merchandise next time you're here.
That'd
after
be
your
fun.
album's out, you can just come in a cello
That'd
t-shirt.
be fun. I
Yeah.
also definitely want to do a Sheelavati t-shirt.
Oh yeah, that'll also be good.
Yeah.
Do you want any do you have any things in mind, any designs in mind? Sheelavati, how do you want Sheelavati to look?
I was blessed to have worked with really good artists, so that the track art itself looks so good. Just to have that blown up on a t-shirt would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the track arts look really good. So even for Rowdy, it just says Rowdy
Yeah.
in the track art. It's perfect. You know what I mean? It'll look really good.
And for the album, do you have anyone making the?
Yeah, I have a really interesting art piece coming for the album.
Okay.
So I'll probably tease that in the month of November or December.
Something that way, yeah. So you're looking at a December launch sort of thing.
Again, December, yeah.
Yeah.
December or Jan. Those would be the months.
So I think the moment you launch it, you can come back here.
Of course,
Then you can
yeah.
speak more about it.
Yeah, definitely. That would
Yeah.
be fun.
But I'm really excited for it, man. So
Thank you.
there's Chelsea. Who else? Who are the other
There's
artists?
Zoe from the performance program.
Mm-hmm.
And Daryl is my classmate who produced another track.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chelsea is from Italy. Where are the other
No,
people?
Chelsea is from the US, but she lives in Italy.
Okay, she's from the US. Where are the other people from?
All US.
All US.
All US. And they're all Black American artists, so it's paying homage to their culture with them being part of the project.
Okay.
So they also told me that they told me that I understand what it means to be doing this music. So I got like a good go ahead for the music I'm doing from them, and it was nice.
And did they have to read up on Indian politics and?
I mean,
Indian...
that was a good. The whole year got spent in them understanding our side of things, being
Okay.
in like talking to me,
Yeah.
and them going like, "Oh man, you guys deal with a lot of the same shit." So I was
Like in the West, they have a skewed perspective of how the ground reality is in India, right?
like, "Yeah, of course."
So what was
But again,
their...
I think it's like black people understand it way more than
That's
white
true.
people.
That's true.
There's
Yeah.
a huge difference. So I feel like that's a huge perspective. Like Chelsea, Zoe, and Daryl really understood it way differently from how the other people understood it. You know.
So they spent the entire year basically trying to get to know.
That's what the whole album was like. We're not that different. That's what it was about.
Okay.
Like, we're not that different, and just if we're kinder and nicer to each other, things would work out in a much better way.
I think that's important. Like when artists send a message that resonates to the entire world through their music, it's just not good beats that you play, and it's got to have something deeper to it.
Yeah, honestly, we need to stop people fighting, you know,
Yeah.
and so much hate. Oh.
So what are some of the issues in India that you've discussed, if you're able to speak about it? Like any particular incidents?
So
that,
one of the things that I'm gonna that I can talk about on the podcast is the parallel of race being an issue in the US or a huge portion of the
Yeah.
world, with religion being our main issue.
Yeah.
So that's something that I deal with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But any specific incidents that you've
Oh, that
gone deep into? Yeah.
No.
Okay. You
I
just
mean, I'm not trying to like go to jail or whatever, bro. I'm walking a really thin line talking about what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about it in a way that,
yeah.
as a lawyer, I indemnify myself, you know. So it's spoken about in a really smooth way.
And I mean, you would obviously perform these live.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will perform these live with a
And-
live band, hopefully.
Yeah, why not? So that's your ideal thing. Like when I had come to High, that time there was Bazi.
Yeah.
That was a different vibe. That was more of a dancey vibe.
Yeah.
Now you plan to play with a band. So is a DJ no more going to happen, or is that
So
going to happen?
a lot of like I learned how to DJ this year right over there. So I would definitely now DJ myself.
And rap at the same time.
Yeah. Which hasn't been done again.
Yeah, I'm
which-
trying to think of
An artist that you saw
Yeah.
that did that, yeah, it hasn't been done.
Yeah, because guitar and all, yes, but I've not seen anyone DJ.
And rap.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'll be doing. So I wouldn't go about the traditional having a DJ at my and do a hip hop set that way. But also I like DJing now. I found a passion for DJing, which I didn't think. Like now my Instagram says artist, lawyer,
Yeah, I
music
saw that.
producer. So now I'm going to add DJ. Once I do my first DJ gig, I'm going to add DJ at the end of it because I really love DJing. I found like, okay, this is really fun. You know, I totally understand why every dude wants to be a DJ. Like, now I get it.
But what was your like journey into DJing? Like you can, I'm sure, help him out.
I mean, I grew up watching Tomorrowland and Boiler Room and all of that.
Yeah, of course.
And like बचपन में like वैसा बन गया था goal कि I have to be that person. And then that dream evolved into production, into sound engineering, now into like going into the business side of things.
Right.
So like the dream, like the क्या बोलते हैं कि end goal is कि I have to work in music.
Of course,
That's
yeah.
the
I think
end
the
goal.
same with you also, right? Like
But, like-
whatever genre it is.
Like, I'm glad कि it has evolved, like
As it's going.
Yeah.
That's
like,
really
In the
interesting.
end, I would like to you have जैसा आपका vision है कि you want to do everything by yourself,
Yeah.
So I have an end goal कि I'll have an enterprise कि जहाँ पे an artist comes and he gets all the consultancy and like everything from A to Z.
A to Z. Yeah, and you don't screw the artist over.
Yeah.
Exactly. if you need a lawyer at that enterprise, I am there.
Yeah, actually,
But
that's-
also for artist development, creative consulting, help
Yeah.
them grow. Yeah, I would definitely want to be involved in a space like that too.
And what are the venues for DJing someone initially starting out? Like, what sort of venue should he be looking at?
Depends.
Get their hands into something.
Yeah.
Just get that one gig. That's the
if you're
task.
a Bollywood DJ, you go to venues that play Bollywood.
Would you Bollywood DJ?
100%.
Oh, you would?
I would do it. I love Bollywood music,
Oh,
bro.
wow, well, that'll be cool.
I would do techno, I would do house, I would do Bollywood, I would do hip hop, I would do anything.
Would you DJ at weddings?
I don't know. It's a lot. You have to take care of a lot of people's happiness at that point.
Yeah.
And they're, I don't know. I might. I'm not. I never say no.
Listen,
right?
if they are drinking, it's just the first half an hour that's going to be a challenge. After that, they'll dance to anything.
Yeah, but also at a Indian wedding, it's just Bollywood music.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure that you'll manage, right? Because you love Bollywood
I
music.
love Bollywood music.
So that'll be good. And maybe some of the beats you've learned there, you can just some of the.
Yeah.
Different styles, man.
Also it'll be fun because I'll not just do Bollywood. I'd also, if they want to have a band, I'll do a band thing also for them. Yeah. I can curate art for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so anyone getting married, guys, I have a lot of friends in that age group. Please contact him.
If you need a DJ, you need a band.
Or if you need someone to rap at your wedding.
Also, if you need someone to sign a prenup.
Or if any of y'all want divorces, he does that as well. This guy's done everything, man. That's good. That's really good.
funny.
But yeah, we were talking about divorce law and all, and you said that
I've handled a few divorces, yeah.
I've heard the money's good, man.
The money is good if you're dealing with rich people.
So it's, you got to find rich clients.
Clients. 100%.
But you're still like practicing seriously, or
I am
how-
practicing pretty seriously. Like I'm handling, like, there's a label being set up in India that's going to be at the forefront of indie labels.
Okay.
I'm handling their trademark. I am working on their contracts. Yeah.
And do any upcoming artists come to you and say, this is the contract I'm being
Yes,
offered?
there are artists that come up to me and that want help with their contracts for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And that's something you...
It's something that I'm really passionate about. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the artist doesn't get screwed over.
And that's what happens.
That's the first thing that happens.
That's what. And people feel that, they've got talent and there's a big company that's coming in, so they are good
sign
and they might...
sign with the Universals and the Sonys, and you just get left if you
Yeah.
like if you okay. See, that's the crazy thing. Like, everyone's not going to be a Taylor Swift or an Ed Sheeran or like, everyone doesn't have that, but everyone has the propensity to be good. Like, they'll be successful and everything will be good for them, but like, the label's only going to look at those top 3-4 names.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you don't get the right kind of budget funding and your contract is such that you're locked in, then you're stuck. At least if you're independent and you don't have money, you can figure out something of something. It's better to go to a bank for a loan than a label for a loan.
That's true.
Yeah.
But Taylor Swift, I think recently something with her label, there was an issue and she re-recorded her songs. Or
That was
that-
because the dude that owned her shit he refused to sell it back to her, so she just went ahead and recorded everything herself. More power to her.
Okay, but like, who was on the right? Like, did the guy have a point by doing what he did?
I mean, he was just doing business, right? But she's an artist, so I feel like she got screwed over by this person. Again, to avoid things like this happening is...
So she signed that contract when she wasn't big.
I'm guessing, yeah. I mean, I don't know the nitty-gritties of the contract, but from what I understand is that the person refused to let go of the masters of her music, and she just went ahead and recorded everything like a boss bitch, and just, she's come out at top. She's come out on the top again, and her latest tour, the Eras tour, grossed, I think, almost $1 billion.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what do you think of the Swifties?
I played the fifth, but it's really amazing. Like, just the economy that she's she's generated so much money. It helps the cities that she's going to. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
she's a huge portion of the music industry.
And there are some places where it's just the dancers and her music's being played, and even that is doing well, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So do you think that's where music could be heading?
I hope not.
No, but that's another way to reach.
I mean, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. But like, I feel like
I'm not saying instead of performing live, I'm saying like she can perform live in one place, but her music and like a tour sort of thing can happen in another country.
people will go for it.
People will go for it.
man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, because it's her. Like, her fans are like her fans.
Yeah.
They will go for it 100%. And if it's part of her production, she'll also make sure that it's
It's done well, yeah.
Exactly. And
Like-
people are looking at having a good time, so I'm sure that it would work.
Yeah. And sometimes rather than just going to see the person, they just want good music and they want the vibe. That's
Yeah.
where they're going.
Exactly.
If they could see her on TV. Sometimes they're just going for the...
But also, to afford that tour, man, you'd have to spend at least $1,300 to be a part of that show. So,
Yeah.
which is, for us, it's like $1 lakh plus, bro. How are you gonna afford that?
That's true. But what are the like top live events you've gone for, like the top concerts?
Oh my god, I've been for so many good
I'm
shows.
sure you must have.
Yeah, like the list, seen Deadmau5, Skrillex, All J, Guns N' Roses, Metallica.
All J at Supersonic.
Both.
Yeah.
I saw them once in Pune and I
think
saw
that's
them
Supersonic.
once in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah. And the list is long. All the Weekenders, I've been attending Weekenders since it started.
Okay.
A bunch of the Supersonics. Then...
What about Spain?
So that's the thing. I was so stuck working. That's another thing. When you're working in music, you don't get a chance to really go out and listen to music. So I didn't really have the chance to, go out for a really good show or like go hit a really good gig. There were I wanted to go for Primavera and stuff, but one part of it was that it was too expensive.
Okay.
Second part is that it just didn't match my schedule.
What is Primavera?
It's like this. It's like a big festival over there.
Okay, it's like
NH7 over there.
it's like the Tomorrowland level or
bigger, right?
Bigger than
'Cause- Yeah,
Tomorrowland.
because Kendrick performed, Depeche Mode performed, it was huge.
Oh.
Big lineup, lot of artists.
And who do you think is like the top guy in the rap sphere now? Is it
Oh,
Kendrick?
it's definitely one of them. But there's so many good artists, you know. Kendrick is someone that everyone looks up to in terms of the penmanship. But yeah, there's just so many artists in that space.
Who do you think are the
While like,
upcoming ones?
upcoming artists. Oh. So I can tell you that I can tell you what I've been listening to. I can't really say who are upcoming.
Yeah,
There must be
that's
there's
true.
so many that I'll miss out actually.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to a lot of like West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, a lot of Kendrick. I like how the Mr. Morale album was really introspective. Like after going through the whole leg, again for him, I felt like it was like he went through the whole leg of, you know, becoming this huge success, and then at the end of like the album after Damn that he put out, he's just talking about his life, his family, and like, you know, what he's been going through as a real person.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's again, I feel like a full circle thing for him. Like, okay, I've done all of that now. What really matters to me is my home. Yeah.
I think end of the day, that's what matters to a lot of people,
Exactly.
right? It's just the safety and the comfort of home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about Kendrick? What's his story been like? I think he was in Boston and then he moved. Did you follow his childhood?
No,
Okay.
not really. I just know for a fact that he's been born and raised in Compton. He was placed at the right place at the right time. Dr. Dre produced his first album. So he's always been in the music industry and he knew that that's what he wants to do. So he made sure that that's what he does.
Yeah. And he's made a huge success of himself.
Not just success, he's made a huge impact.
Yeah.
Like, inspired artists to stop talking about, you know, just the same thing about bitches, hoes, and drugs, and take away from that to talk about real things, is where again I saw like a lot of Kendrick clones coming up, which was honestly better than seeing a lot of crappy clones coming up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, at least if they're Kendrick clones, the music is good, it's original, they're talking about real things, and I can listen to a bunch of Kendrick clones because it's all good music, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, like there were these Eminem clones and it was all mumble rap, and that era was just
Yeah,
bad
because
in terms
Eminem,
of.
because Eminem was one of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what Eminem did, everyone like can't do.
Yeah.
So, but if someone's striving for what Kendrick does, they'll still turn out to be a better act than someone that's trying to do what Eminem did.
Yeah.
He was brutal, like. But that Eminem's again top 5.
Did you
Yeah.
listen to Eminem's recent one with Easy Mill?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so in that he says that I'm not in the top 5 because I'm white. I'm not one because I'm white. Like they can't put me at that level because I'm white and everyone else
That's
is
pretty.
black.
Yeah, that's profound. Actually, I
Yeah.
totally understand that. A lot of artists, a lot of hip hop rap artists say this about Eminem, that he is number 1, and it's
Yeah.
really hard for people to stomach.
Yeah, that's true. It's because it's so ingrained in the black culture, right? And for a white guy to be that, given how racially divided the United States is, especially,
Yeah.
it is hard. But yeah, I think it's a good
But
way
I
to.
mean, who didn't listen? I'm pretty sure you had an Eminem phase.
Yeah, of course, I still do.
Exactly.
Yeah, my Eminem phase is not going away.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like Eminem was so the first ever hip hop track that I even heard was an Eminem track. It was D12, My Band. My elder brother put me onto it. He's like, listen to this. And then like again, I feel like the brain chemistry, like something changed in my brain, and I was like, I have to, like, okay, this is it. Like, it was in the 2nd grade I heard this track. And everything changed. And then I was like, okay, I really need to know what hip hop is. So then it went from learning about Eminem in the 2nd grade to going backwards to seeing, okay, NWA, you know, going Rudy Ray Moore,
Yeah.
all these acts that were hip hop legends, Big Daddy Kane, E40, just a huge list of.
It started with the East Coast West Coast thing, right?
That was a huge part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But so then it was like who these hip hop artists were, and then learning what this music was backwards from Eminem,
Yeah.
and LL Cool J, and just, you know, the people that built hip hop to what it is, and then figuring out Eminem, and then aage kya hua,
Yeah.
and then seeing how it happened here also was a huge thing. People really took to hip hop. It was I think it's one of the largest cultural movements the world has seen in the recent past.
And it's only going to grow. What do you think is the hip hop scene in India?
I think people's first thing that people saw was that there's money in it. So then everyone hopped onto the train. But I feel like the ones that really understood what the culture is of hip hop, those are the people that really did well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's about studying how much research and how much you really understand and how much you really feel it.
Hmm.
Like the ones that want to make see, it's if you look at making money, if you want to make money in anything, you'll make money.
Yeah.
But if you want to have an everlasting impact, if what you're seeking is something different, then those things take time. It's like
Yeah.
it's not linear. So I feel like that's one part of it.
And do people relate to hip hop here as much as they do in the US, or that's going to take some more time?
I feel like people relate to hip hop here because our struggle is really different, but we have our own struggles too, man. We deal with issues of religion. Next thing you know, you're in Europe, you're a person of color, and like you get like there's racism everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like I had a bunch of encounters with racism in Europe.
Oh, you
so,
did? What happened?
Like white people things doing weird things. You can just tell. Like white lady clutching her bag.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I got more money than you, bro. This is not okay. But it's just hate, and not understanding it. There's nothing that can be done. I feel like it's something that's probably taught in the house. Maybe.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
But I think through different cultures coming up with different things like music and movies and all that,
It'll
things
help
are changing.
for
Yeah.
sure. It's like a slow thing. Like, okay, I can talk about this, that in women in the music industry, we want more women in the music industry. So the really cool thing was that in the business program, there was 75% women in the class, and the rest were dudes. And that was really cool. So it's like people realize, like even when I was in law school, there were 70 people in the class, 45 were, I think, women, and the rest were men. So it's like where people see that there is growth, it suddenly starts changing. Like you start seeing more women involved. But like in the production program, there weren't that many women.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's a slow process. And it's happening gradually. So obviously we want to see more women in the music industry. It'll be great. Honestly, if women run the world, there won't be war. It'll be peaceful.
That's true, man. We need some of that.
It'll be peaceful. Like so yeah, we do need that. It'll be nice. There'll be a lot less fighting for sure. And so I think it's a gradual, slow process. It's happening. Because this is 2014, I'm talking about seeing more women than men in law school. Now we're talking about 2023, and there's more women than men in the music business program.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
maybe 2025, there'll be more women than men in the production program. It'll take a little time, but it'll get there.
Yeah, but why do you think more women are coming into the industry now? Do you feel that they've seen opportunities for themselves, or do you feel that it's always been there, but
It could be everything. Honestly, I feel like I'm not the right person to be making a comment or observation on it.
based on what you've encountered, what you've spoken to them about?
I feel like the people that found their passion in music, they just wanted to be involved in the music space regardless. A lot of the people in the business program are great artists, but they thought that nahi music business karenge because career yahan pe zyada set hoga types.
Yeah.
But not realizing that their true passion is in the art, and they maybe should have been in the production program. So it's like two sides of the same coin.
And they can probably do both also, right? Like that's what you plan to do. You plan to.
I mean, I did a BBA, LLB, and now I'm doing music. So
Yeah, and you're going to do your own production.
Yeah, and I'll
You're
also
going to
work
be a
as a
DJ.
lawyer. Yeah,
You're going to do everything, man.
I really like music, man. I feel like it's just this is the space for me.
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
just
always
happy
going to be
here.
there. Yeah.
And that's what Kushal said was that I want to be involved in music. So like today I'm doing, let's say, hip hop. Tomorrow it'll be a blues, rock, all of that. When all the dust settles, I might just be teaching students. Because again, I'll just be involved in music.
Yeah. And what do you think about AI? Did you see Post Malone's recent comments on it?
So many people are involved in AI. I think what Grimes did was really smart, where she was like, any AI track that's like done, you use my vocals for the AI, I will take 50% of that track and you make 50% using the AI. Like I'll split the royalties for you if you're using AI and my voice.
Okay.
Smart.
Yeah, that's actually smart.
Yeah.
But what do you think about writers probably artists going towards that now? Like, say I'm Post Malone, I want to write a song, so I'm going to be like, write a new song about this, how Post Malone would, and then use those kind of things. Do you see more of that happening?
100%. I feel like there's a lot of resistance to technology when it first comes out. That's just how the world works.
Yeah.
But the people that adapt the fastest to the technology end up coming out on top.
So is that something you would consider doing?
I don't know yet. I feel
You can
like,
maybe do something that way and, be honest about it. Like, this is an AI song. And
Oh, you mean lyrics? Like,
Yeah.
AI writes the lyrics?
Yeah.
So even as someone who has resistance to this, I'm like, okay, then then just the AI was supposed to do jobs like that humans didn't want to do. Like humans want to write, the humans want
Yeah,
to
but don't you
make
think
art.
it'll be cool? Like, you've got all these songs by you and one song by AI, and you say that, this is by AI. This is.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think it's adapting to that as well, right? Because it's not your
100%.
words. You have to get your tunes to it. You can probably modify a few words.
100%.
So I think that's going to be a different skill altogether.
People are so already there's a huge space where people are already training people how to navigate ChatGPT, right? Like there's
Yeah.
just spaces, like there's jobs that are being created just through AI right now. The people that are the first, like someone I know is training people in how to use AI. So it's just the people that get there first that end up making the buck.
Yeah. And are you considering any of that? Are you looking to get into that?
I mean, for me
Yeah.
right now, it's like I'm first working on my album, so like I'm just like taking it one step at a time. For me, as long as for me, it's about being on stage. Like if I get to be on stage, I'm making music, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy, yeah.
You probably get that high also, right, from being on
That's
stage.
what it's about.
Like, even if it's a horrible day, the moment you step on stage, it's like a different
Yeah.
feeling altogether.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of good energy that you receive. That's what feels really
Yeah,
good.
you think you thrive off the crowd.
100%.
Yeah. And that's why I feel bad for people during the pandemic, like, musicians or stand-up comedians or something. They didn't have that crowd to thrive, and they're so used to that.
They need it.
Yeah.
And it was put everyone in a really bad
Yeah,
space.
and like doing it online is not the same. It's definitely not the same.
really not.
Yeah.
That's why when I did the first gig after putting out Sheelavati and a few other tracks was that, oh hey, like I need to, regardless of, we just did the gig. It's crazy.
But yeah, I think on that note, it's a good way to wrap things up.
Yeah.
So before we wrap things up, why don't you, any final words?
Do check out the album, guys.
It's not out yet.
And do listen to the catalog. I'm sure you'll find.
Yeah, you can tell people where to find you.
Oh yeah, Siddhant Pillai, Siddhant Pillai, and you can Google that.
So it's on Spotify,
Everywhere,
Instagram.
everywhere. Whatever.
Are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter, but yeah. But if you just Google my name, you'll know where to find me through.
And I'll also find the Rolling Stone interviews and
Everything,
and the
yeah.
New Indian Express one as well.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, like, tell me about the Rolling Stones. Like, did they reach out to you? How did that
No,
happen?
I sent my music into them and they liked it. They thought they were interested and then they featured me. Same
Okay.
thing with Indian Express.
So that was 12 times in Rolling Stones.
Yeah, 12, 13 times on Rolling Stone. Yeah.
So
that
what-
was really.
So what were the different pieces? I think I saw only 2 or 3. Like,
Okay,
how were they different from each other?
They all got featured. Like Sheelavati was the first track. The first track got featured. So that was like. So honestly, I didn't think that thing, Rolling Stone thing, would happen up until now. Like I thought it would happen sometime now. But
Okay.
being 13 features in, then I'm just like, okay, now it's different. It felt really different. But the first one happened for the first track, and I was like blown away. And then I kept sending my music in, and then they kept featuring it because they liked it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when I dropped 007, they did the interview. And then that's for the first time I saw my face on that Rolling Stone page, and I was like, "Whoa, this happened!" Like I did
I've
an
made it.
interview. I mean, yeah, like I didn't think I made it, but I definitely felt like, "Oh, it was a surreal feeling." And then I got more features after that, and I was like, "Okay, this is really cool." Then I got nominated for an IRA award.
What's that?
Indian Recording
Association agency.
yeah,
whatever. Okay,
it was where the industry, like the people that are really involved in the music industry, it's a jury based like nomination. So we got nominated for that. So that was like a pretty big thing because the engineer that I work with started getting more work through that.
Oh, lovely.
And he got paid better because of the nomination. His profile looks much better because we have all the Rolling Stone features. So he gets paid more. And we got the IRA. We got nominated for like an Indies thing. So things just kept on moving in a way.
Yeah. It's good, man. And with the album, I think things are only
The
going to get better.
album is the best hip hop album to come out of India.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's in English. So for me, it's like it'll be understood everywhere. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure everyone else is. And once NH7 is officially announced,
Yeah.
we'll get you back, and hopefully with the album.
With the album.
album,
NS7 honestly is just another gig for me because I'll be doing that gig as much as I can. I like
Yeah.
play because it had it also nostalgic feel because I grew up going to those
Yeah, I think
gigs.
people
I
our
saw,
age, our people our age will have that feeling about it.
I was in the ninth or 10th, 11th grade, one of those years, when I saw Vishal Dadlani with Pentagram for the first time, and I saw Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, something again changed. I was like, okay, you know what? I really like this feeling of seeing them. So can only imagine what it feels like to be on stage. So from that in the 9th, 10th grade to like now when I'm talking to the people at NH7,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay. So there's been again full circle moments. So,
Yeah.
so for me, the NH7 is about that less than, you know, it's I don't have that same emotional thing with other gigs that happen. Plus, NH7 runs through Pune being their main
Yeah.
thing. So yeah,
And I think that's after Supersonic, along with Supersonic is the biggest event in Pune, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Supersonic is great, but I think NH7 started before Supersonic.
I think
Way
NH7 does more for artists that are just getting onto the scene. Like Supersonic targets more of the established
artists.
bigger artists. Yeah.
No, but I think Supersonic also does its thing for indie acts, I think. But yeah, for why NH7 for me is because again I
Yeah, the
started as a
nostalgia.
kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So
When is NH7 though? Next year?
I have no idea.
Oh, dates are not out yet. Okay. But man, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun few months for you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the album more than
Yeah,
anything.
same. So am I. Like you gave me a teaser, now I want the entire album.
Yeah. No, we can listen to it off screen.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
And we have the monitors
We
here
have the
and
monitor and all
everything.
that. Yeah, let's create a party scene here. Let's do it. Let's do it. But yeah, man. Thanks for everyone for listening, and thank you, man. You've
Thank
been
you,
a
Pranav.
great guest, and we'll definitely do
We're
this
the
soon.
oddballs and outcasts.
What are you? Are you an oddball? Are you an outcast?
A little bit of both.
That's good, man. That's who I am. But yeah, man. Thanks a lot, and see you soon.
Yes,
Okay.
thank
See you guys.
you.
Bye bye.